New England Patriots have been in the Super Bowl the last 3 years. They've won 2 of them. Let's see if they will repeat, in the opinion of this man, Bobby Carpenter, who over the course of this week has given us all of his NFL playoff predictions, and we've gone through all the division winners and everything else, and this is where he netted out. You see all of it on your screen. I won't bother reading through all of it there, but you see the division champs and everybody else who he has making the playoffs. I had a few disagreements. In particular, I like the Bears to win that division on one side, and I do not like the Jaguars to win it on the other. But they're your picks, they're not mine. But what we now are going to do is we're going to take it all the way to the finish. Let us start in the NFC. Who do you see in the NFC Championship game and moving on to the Super Bowl?
I have the New Orleans Saints starting out in the NFC Championship game against the Dallas Cowboys. I think Zeke comes back and they're able to get it done and make a big push. But New Orleans, the last 2 years, they've had the most heartbreaking endings. You're going to find the Minneapolis Miracle absolutely crush them, but yet it didn't kill them. The next season they come back with Drew Brees and they get all the way then to the NFC Championship game and they're on the doorstep. They are ready to get there, and then the most horrendous no call in the history happens.
Yeah.
It seems like this is the situation they have been building. They've been moving. Drew Brees is getting older. They have a great team around him. I think this is the year they finally kick the door in and get to the Super Bowl.
You know, if there is any truth to the expression, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, then the Saints would be the perfect example of that. Because you're right, no team has ever lost in back-to-back years the way you have. So that's the NFC. How about in the AFC?
The AFC and some of the usual suspects there, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs over the New England Patriots. And it hurts me to do that. Tom Terrific has been fantastic, but Pat Mahomes in his second season as a starter, he's got a ton of weapons. He's going to be able to do a terrific job down the stretch. I love the playoff experience that he has now, but one of the biggest reasons, if you look at how they lost the AFC Championship game, Dee Ford is no longer there to line up offsides and give the game away to Tom Brady. They had it set up. They were going to win that game. And if you give Tom one more crack at it, he's going to burn you. And they unfortunately did right there. Got another chance, and he goes down and wins the game for him.
That was the offsides play that we just saw right there. And then they don't get the coin toss in the overtime. Kansas City is basically a coin flip away from being in the Super Bowl a year ago. So you have Mahomes playing Brady in the AFC Championship game and then playing Breeze in the Super Bowl. New Orleans and Kansas City, who are you picking to win?
And like you said, if there's any poetic justice in the world, Drew Brees will be able to finally get that second Super Bowl and defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. Their offense is set up to do so. Maybe he has a Peyton Manning style or John Elway style walk-off. But the New Orleans Saints with Cameron Jordan, they're good on defense. They have a litany of weapons on offense with everything they're able to do. I want to see this for my man Drew. As good as he has been, as close as they have been the last couple of years, it would be right for the New Orleans Saints to finally take that second Lombardi for Drew Brees.
So you have them in Super Bowl LIV. And I love the way that the Roman numerals have set up for this year. Let me bring Darius and Jalen into this conversation. Just get a quick opinion on that. He has the Saints beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl coming up this year. Darius, agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Who do you have?
I got the Pats in there again, over the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. So I agree they'll both be there again. And then I got the Bears on the NFC side, representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
So you like the Bears? I like the Bears as well. Jalen, how about you?
I like KC in the AFC, and, you know, don't sleep on the Detroit Lions this year.
Everyone is sleeping on the Detroit Lions, Jalen. What are you talking about? The world is fast asleep on the Detroit Lions.
Sleeping tight.
I wanted to say the Bears, to be honest with you. But it just pains my heart because they're in our division, to give them credit.
It's a tough division. That's the thing.
One way or another, those were Bobby's picks as we speak here. He's got New Orleans. Again, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. If they
Let's
can
go,
get back
Matt
from those 2
Patricia.
wins, let's see where it goes. All right, don't forget tonight on ESPN, after Utah and BYU, Scott Van Pelt has SVP's Week 1 surprise college football picks. Plus, Oregon quarterback Justin Herbert will join the show. And baseball's ever-changing wild card races at SportsCenter with SVP after college football tonight on ESPN and the ESPN app.
I don't know the question you were trying to ask. Be better tomorrow.
I'm not answering that. That's a clown question, bro.
Next. Mike, why are you in such a bad mood? What do you care?
What else do you want to know?
Next question.
Your next question.
Next question. Next question.
I'm not going to answer any questions for you.
Answer my question! The question, jerk!
Now, we run that every single week on this program, and the great John McEnroe has made his way here. What do you think?
$1 to answer the question, jerk?
Yeah.
Reminds me of a guy by the name of Nick Kyrgios. He's learned something from me.
Yeah.
Not totally proud of it, but it's worked.
Listen, it was at a time when all of us were paying very close attention to what was going on. Here's what's going to go. Well, we're going to talk tennis with John in a couple of minutes. But I had the idea yesterday. I've got John McEnroe. I've got Jalen Rose here. I got to just create some kind of conversation. So I'm putting together a couple of questions, and let's see where we wind up. I want to start with the NFL. You're a New York guy all of your life. There's a lot of conversation about the deferential treatment the Giants need to pay to Eli Manning because he's been so good and been such a good citizen as their quarterback in this market. We also know that sports are rarely that kind to older players. So what do you make of this notion that the Giants need to treat Eli with enormous respect as they find a way to transition out of his era?
Well, I think they've been doing that the last couple of years already. But however, I still think because he, before the game, plays my wife's song, The Warrior. Patty Smyth's my wife. He plays that to get himself pumped up. I got a special soft spot for Eli. The way things pan out with this Daniel Jones guy, who's obviously green and to me not ready to go, you got to give Eli another shot. Let him start the season, play this season, hopefully have a great one.
I agree with Johnny Mac because here's why. In the preseason, Daniel Jones has been able to build a mystique. And all of the fans are clamoring to see his future and to watch him play. You put him out there week one, you lose all of that equity. Give him a chance to learn a lot more. Let Eli start a few weeks, take some bumps and bruises, and then have people cheering for the young player halfway through the season versus possibly being upset at him.
But how about the idea, as athlete, again, you played an individual sport, John, but Jalen, you played a team sport, this idea that they have to find a way to gracefully move on from Eli Manning. Do players deserve that?
Players, in his case, have earned it. If Daniel Jones came in and was lights out, he would be starting. But they see something that we don't see.
He's been lights out, Jalen. He's been lights out.
Against the fourth string, right?
Right, in the preseason games.
Come on. Bill Belichick's probably laughing like when they play whoever, let's say they play the Giants, okay? Yeah. He'd think, I'm going to show them nothing in the preseason. Daniel Jones is so far in over his head right now. Let the guy, even a year, possibly, dare I say even 2 years? Let this guy learn what's happening in the NFL, please.
All right, so says John McEnroe. Let me get to the next one here, and I will quickly mention that Kobe Bryant will be in the booth tonight on ESPN 2, prime time, as we watch Coco Gauff, the teenage sensation, play her second-round match at the U.S. Open. But yesterday was a day for some beef between Shaq and
Not
Kobe.
Again.
That's been going on a long time. So I'll ask you, Johnny Mac, very simply, are you Team Shaq or Team Kobe?
I'm more of a Team Shaq guy. He's more fun-loving, and everyone loves the guy. And to me, he's a great team player. I mean, Kobe willed people to get better around him, but I'm not sure he was, well, Jalen, you know better than I do. I don't know if he was as tight-knit with his fellow players as perhaps Shaq was.
I agree with you. I'm Team Shaq as well because they won 3 championships together. Shaq was the finals MVP each time. Trust me, I was out on the floor when they won their first one. Shaq was the most dominant player that the game had seen probably since Kareem in his prime in those NBA finals. So I have to be Team Shaq. Now, once he left, Kobe developed and became a better
I saw
player.
Shaq as a rookie. We all did, obviously. When Patrick Ewing, when I'm a big Knicks fan, and he pushed him over like he was nothing. So the Shaq is, he's the man still.
He was a physical force, unlike anything we've seen. Okay, I want to get to this next one here because this is a little more up both of your alleys. So you've got Roger Federer. He's 38 years old in search of his 21st Grand Slam singles title. LeBron James will be 35 years old by the time we get to the NBA playoffs of next season. So I will ask you, who wins the next title? Will it be Roger winning his next slam or LeBron James winning his next NBA championship? John?
That's a tight call.
That is a tight call.
Very tight call, but I'm going to have to go with LeBron. I think he's got more to prove at this stage, despite the fact he was in 8 finals in a row. Roger's done it all. Tougher at 38 in an individual sport to do that. Slight edge to LeBron, although I'm not quite sure he needs maybe 1 or 2 more players on that roster.
Wow, I'm shocked that I'm going with Roger, Greeny. I am. He gets 4 chances a year. He's great on grass. He's been first or second basically each of the times he's performed recently. LeBron James has to worry about an 82-game schedule. He has to worry about 7-game series. They just put the Lakers roster together for the first time this year, even though they added AD. I'm going Federer.
I'm a huge Federer fan. The finals at Wimbledon broke my heart. I mean, he had it.
The runner-up.
That was it. It may never happen again. It might turn out to have been his last best chance to win a Grand Slam singles.
Well, he's won 20, so don't feel too bad about it. That's
I
like
understand
10 NBA titles.
But I still want to see him win. Don't you want to see him win?
And it was one of the all-time epic matches. And he had double match point against one of the all-time greats. Yes, it was a tough one to lose when you have double match point.
John's going to stay with us. Again, Kobe in the booth tonight for the Coco match, and we have more with John McEnroe as we continue. Meanwhile, much more still in this hour on Get Up. They're both hugely popular, but the NFL and the NBA market themselves quite differently, according to someone who pays close attention. What Mark Cuban said and whether or not he's right. That's the conversation as we continue. Get Up on ESPN.